Hello everybody, this is Women Wonder, and I am working on an artwork today, Speedpaint, and I'm also going to be talking about stuff going on in November, working on NaNoWriMo, and also trying to keep the momentum from Goretober. Now, first, I want to talk a little bit about this artwork. This was from my Goretober series, which happened last month. And Goretober is basically where you draw one picture a day for 31 days, the whole month of October. Some people do Inktober, which is around doing an ink picture every day, but I was actually participating. I did try Inktober, but I only lasted 10 days. But mainly I was doing Goretober, which is kind of like Inktober, except you are doing a picture that relates to a prompt that has to do with core for all those days. So I did make it through the whole month, which was pretty awesome. That was actually the second year that I completed Goretober. But this was from Goretober, day 28, and the prompt was undead. And I had pretty much generally when you think of undead, you kind of think either zombie or vampire. That was kind of like probably the most popular forms of undead. But I'd already sort of did a vampire the day before, a couple days before in that month. So I decided I wanted to do some sort of zombie, but not really a conventional post-apocalyptic zombie. So I ended up doing this illustrations that you're watching me working on here, and I kind of went more with sort of a glamorous, I don't know if she'd be maybe a punk rocker or a model or something, some sort of more like fashion zombie. So it was pretty fun to work on, and it was a little different, so that was fun, and I was actually pretty happy with how it turned out. But yeah, that was from October, and it is November now, and so I've been working on a few other things. Trying to keep sort of the momentum of Goretober, plus also working on something a little different, which is NaNoWriMo. Now, if you don't know, NaNoWriMo is actually a challenge that happens every November where writers come together, and the goal is to write 50,000 words in 30 days. So pretty much kind of like the first draft of a novel. That ends up being about 1,667 words per day if you're writing the minimum and you're writing every single day of the month. I've been more aiming for about 2,000 words per day because I wanted to have a bit of cushion. Now, I haven't really quite necessarily always gotten to that point because I did get sick only like 4 days in to NaNoWriMo, and I'm just starting to get a little better, which is why this video didn't really come out as soon as I had hoped, because I wanted to do a voiceover, but my voice was not that great. So I am getting better finally, and I have been catching up some in NaNoWriMo. I'm not too far off the goal for today, and I'm pretty much poised to end up reaching the halfway point tomorrow, which is halfway for the month, and that would mean that I'd be at 25,000 words, which is probably more words than I've ever wrote for one story. Well, I'm pretty sure that's more words than I've ever wrote for any story, because this is my first attempt at writing anything close to a novel. So it's definitely been interesting going from flash fiction to novel. I did do a fair bit of prepping before, so it hasn't been too bad, but there have been a couple hiccups, story hiccups along the way, but currently I'm pretty much going fairly smoothly. It's definitely an interesting experience, and it is nice to, I think I usually perform better doing projects when I do have a sort of goal and I know that others are doing it, so that is helpful. Along with NaNoWriMo, I'm actually working on a couple other things as well. I'm working on a bit of a side project, which I'm hoping I will finish probably by the end of the year, but you might not hear about it till later. It depends on what ends up happening with it. And I'm also working on some standalone illustrations. You can find one of them I just posted today on my DeviantArt and Facebook page that I had started actually before October, but I didn't finish, and then of course Goretober started, and I pretty much stuck working on that. But I did finish it recently, and I've also been working on something else, which you might have seen if you've been watching some of my recent live streams. I've been working on that, and you can still watch it if you want. It is up. I think there's 2 videos, and they're about an hour long. They're from the live streams, and they're basically just real time me working on this artwork I've been working on recently. That should be finished soon. So yeah, overall, I've basically just been trying to keep the momentum from Goretober between the writing and the art, because I was a little worried with NaNoWriMo that I wasn't really going to get a lot of art done, which obviously is a lot slower than Goretober, because you know, when you're doing something like Goretober or Inktober or any kind of Drawtober challenge, you're pretty much focused on that, and you have the focus to complete an artwork a day. But doing something else that requires daily attention, obviously you don't really have as much time to do art when you're doing all that writing. But I think I've been pretty okay. I finished some things I've been wanting to finish, and starting some other things that should be finished soon. So yeah, I think overall it's been a fairly smooth November so far, I guess you could say. Not 100% between getting sick and all that, but I think it's been going fairly well. If any of you have any experience with NaNoWriMo, or if you're doing it this November, I would love to hear about maybe what you've been going through this November and how it's been going. I would also, if you have any experience with Goretober this October, and maybe you're trying to keep the momentum and everything, I would love to hear how that's going. But otherwise, I think that's pretty much it. So I appreciate everyone for watching, and if you want to subscribe, I would appreciate it. I'm trying to get a little more consistent with posting videos, and I'm doing some live streams and the like. You can also like or comment on this video if you want. Like I said, if you have any experience with NaNoWriMo or are doing it, you can definitely tell about that in the comments, and I would love to hear about it. You can also check out my social media pages. That is in the description below. If you want to see some updates on artwork or anything like that. Plus, another exciting thing is if you go to my Redbubble store, I actually have quite a few Goretober pictures on there. So if you've seen any of the Goretober pictures that you liked and would be interested in any of it on a shirt or a bag or a phone case, pretty much a lot of other stuff, you can go and get that stuff, and it supports me, and you get some cool stuff in the process. So it's pretty cool. I've actually gotten some of Redbubble stuff myself, and it is pretty nice, so I definitely recommend it. But I think that's it, and I will see you guys next time. So bye bye.